What it is, what is up, what is good, gamers? This is Show Enough 71, aka Digadulamite.
Yeah.
And your auditory canals are tuned into episode 272 of the Gaming Vessels podcast. As usual, I'm not in the digital studio alone. Along with me, got my partners in crime. First on deck, it's Dez, a.k.a. the Bay Area Terror, a.k.a. the high-res hater.
That's me.
A.k.a. the Cat Daddy, a.k.a. that gamer stepdaddy. What's going on, man?
Ain't not much, but as always, here to hang out with all of y'all and talk about games. You know why? Because we love them. And we love that you love them. And we love that you show up and talk about games with us. So thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, our show's a no-go without Trader Joe, a.k.a. Jabroni Chief.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's me. Oh, boy.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. What's going on?
I was trying to channel some Typhon de Leon from Borderlands into my intro, I guess. So
I thought it was all that peanut butter you're eating.
Yeah, might as well call me Skippy over here. You know.
Yeah, just choking on that dry ass peanut butter.
Skippy.
I decided to make a nice snack before the show, and obviously I'm just sitting here choking on a big ass white bread peanut butter sandwich with no jelly and no milk. So
wow.
Do you at least have water?
Oh, I have a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, so I'm chasing
at least
it
you have
down.
something to
Okay.
At least you have something to wash it down, so that's good. Because I was like, damn, Joe.
Imagine if I had Mountain Dew or something. So.
Oh boy. Boy. You know what? I found out that Mountain Dew is banned in certain countries. I did not know that.
Not surprised. It's toxic.
Yeah.
Is it because of that reason, or what is it? Because it has the,
it's also Skittles is also banned. Twinkies are banned. What do you call that? Little Debbie's, I think, are banned in certain in some countries. And I saw a list of all the banned candies and treats that are banned in other countries around the world, but are legal to sell here, because we don't care about toxic.
Hell no. Jeez.
That will change once Robert Kennedy Jr. is the
Hey.
Okay.
No politics on this show, thank you.
Okay.
But,
yeah, I've got a bridge to sell you. Oceanfront property in Arizona. But we'll start we're going to start this show off as we always do with our first topic on the docket, and that's going to be the playlist. So I think we started with Dez last week, so let's kick things off with Jabroni. What you been up to, man?
Well, we didn't record a show last week because I went up to go see Mr. Desmond and celebrate his 49th birthday. So
they didn't know all that. All you got to say was you celebrate my birthday. You need to put me on like that, Joe.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, it's not. Don't do that.
But are you afraid? Are you
afraid? Am I
afraid? Yeah.
No, I'm not afraid.
I guess I should have said 25th birthday. Yeah, there you go.
We gotta continue to keep it up. Keep up. Keep it up.
Yeah, you
Forever 21. You got Forever 21. Now we got Forever 25. Okay.
There you go.
Forever 49. There you go.
So yeah, pretty much on the train right up, tread right down. I basically got a chance to play my Steam Deck. It seems like I only play my Steam Deck when I'm like traveling, and so it's like I played a fair amount of Trails in the Sky, the Legend of Heroes series. So it's like this is the RPG I've been kind of playing off and on for the last few years, and we talked about it even in our goals for 2025. Talking about that, I wanted to actually go in and beat this game, and so it gave me a good opportunity to be able to play that quite a bit. In fact, part of Desmond's birthday celebrations, we went to a beach house to celebrate his birthday, along with a mutual friend of ours. She was celebrating her birthday. I won't give out the deets as far as how old she is, but
Thanks, Joe. It's very sweet of you.
Of course. But I had the chance to play it actually at the beach house as well. So one thing I kind of got a kick out of is that I bought Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, the Steam version of Virtua Fighter 5, and I wanted to see how it ran on the Steam Deck. So I actually fired it up while I was on the train, and I actually went ahead. I finished like a arcade full play, playing the computer, and beat all the way to the end and try to beat Dural at the end on there. And it played pretty well on the Steam Deck. And so for shits and giggles, I decided, because I was connected to the Amtrak Wi-Fi, I connected to the Amtrak Wi-Fi and I went into some online lobbies. So I actually went in and went into a lobby and played a round with someone. And of course, the rollback netcode kind of came into effect. And as soon as the match was over, because I actually won the match, and both people that were in that room, they bailed. So they probably said, this dragon ass, slow internet having SOB with your rollback net code. They probably looked like running through molasses on their screen. But I actually went and played a ranked match, and I got my ass whooped. And I blamed the Amtrak Wi-Fi for that, not for my lack of skills or their lack thereof. So
there you go. That's probably for the best, dude.
I know. So, but I'm gonna keep firing up the Steam Deck as much as I can. And then once I get my new desktop PC set up, I'll be gaming on that quite a bit as well on here. So as far as regular console gaming, I've been playing quite a bit of co-op gaming. First off, I've been playing a lot of Journey to the Savage Planet, both with a single playthrough save, and then also with a co-op game I've been playing with John BT on there. So I'm enjoying that game quite a bit. That game reminds me, and we've talked about in previous episodes, it's just like a story-based No Man's Sky. So you just got the one planet you're exploring, but you're doing some of the similar things. You're like going in and scanning things and making, equipment upgrades, and there's a lot of crazy humor in Journey to the Savage Planet. So I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Also played some Wayfinder for the first time in a while. It was a hot thing for a few episodes. Me and Des talked about playing this game co-op. We were like enamored with it, and I wanted to get back to it. So one thing I did fire up, because I think the last time I was talking about Wayfinder, I went ahead and I was equipping, going through all the different characters and equipping them with weapons and checking out the way they played and so on and so forth. Yeah, once I signed back in, this was like the first time I signed in like 3 to 4 weeks. I just said, okay, I need to get back to my main, the person I was playing, my tank, my bread and butter on there. So basically, I'm going to take more of an approach to try to just concentrate on one character and to concentrate on like a lot of the side quests and the main quests in the game on here. I think, Des, you've kind of lost your, I wouldn't say you've gotten cold on it or anything like that, but maybe you're just looking to play different things on there. So I'm probably looking to play that game if I'm, going to continue to play it solo. So I'll take it from there. And obviously, Desmond, you're more than welcome to join me at any point. So,
of course.
Yeah. And then the main game I've been playing the last few weeks actually is we've been playing, me and Desmond's been playing a co-op Borderlands 3 on here. And basically he's jumped into my campaign and kind of mixed and matched characters that he's been kind of going in and out with. But I'm basically just been using a Beast Tamer on there. So Beastmaster on there. So, and I've been enjoying the game quite a bit on there. So it just seems like it's a good chill co-op game for me and Des to play. We've been kind of taking a more measured approach, meaning that he brings up a map of the particular level that we're playing, and we try to find all the hidden items on it so we could like 100% it if need be. So I actually enjoy just making sure, kind of enjoying the storyline of Borderlands 3. So it's kind of good to get back to it. I'm definitely wanting to beat the campaign, co-op as much as possible with Dez and kind of go from there. But it's been good gaming comfort food. So I'm not sure how much we're going to play after Monster Hunter Wilds comes out in the next 12 days on here, but we'll have to kind of figure that out and kind of take it from there. And as far as any other things I've been up to, I've pretty much been going, and I've been getting the clearance itch from Target. So and this whole thing started because I was reading, while I was in up at Desmond's, that Target was having this big ass clearance on some titles on there. So I was like checking social media, Wario 64, so on and so forth. And so it was like once I got back into town, it's like, I have a lot of the games that were on the clearance list, but as soon as I saw that there was a Turtle Beach headset, a Turtle Beach Stealth Pro for 70% off. This is a $329 headset. I just had to got my radar, my deal radar, my Trader Joe deal radar popping up like mad on here. So I was spending this past week just going back and forth between different Targets looking for that headset and looking.
It was on the hunt, y'all.
On that clearance price. So I wanted to I picked up some games for Dez. I picked up some games for John BT. Some of the games that they had on clearance is really good stuff, like kind of more obscure first-party Switch titles, like the Famicom Detective Club, the MEO, the Smiling Man, and Advance Wars 1 and 2. They had Metroid Prime Remastered for $11.99, and all these games were on clearance for 70% off the suggested retail price. And so, I picked up a few things. I picked up a couple of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle games, like those kind of Wrath of the Mutants, like these kind of B-tier TMNT games on there. So I picked those up for myself, and I picked up a rally game from EA, the World Rally Challenge, the WRC, and picked up for hella cheap. So it's just, and as far as the headset, I did not find the headset after looking for numerous days. It just wasn't discounted in my particular area in Fresno. And so I decided, because Woot had a sale on it for $129.99, which it's about $30 more than what I was angling to pay for at Target. And I just decided to go ahead and go for it. So, and pick up those headphones, because those headphones are just primo on it. They're still sitting in the box, but as soon as this show's over, I'm going to get them out, get them updated, and start using them on there. But that's pretty much been my, instead of gaming, I'm sitting there bouncing from Target to Target to Target, just looking for games, especially it's been raining here in this past week. So it's just, I'm done for it for now. Yeah, but we'll see if other games kind of pop up, or if other people, want my services. So we'll see. So.
Jeez. All right.
All right, Des, what you been up to, man?
Not as much as him. I mean, jeez. What I've been up to? I have been playing games. So, as Joe said, we're playing Borderlands. It's been fun. Borderlands 3. I'm sticking with it. I do like the fact that Joe and I are going through and sort of 100%ing the various different areas. I think that is fun, doing the hunting. I think I finally found a character. I played all the various characters, and I finally found one that I'm going to stick with, and that's Mose with the Iron Bear, her little mech, kind of like what I'm doing in it. I like her play style, and it's been fun. So I'm going to stick with that. And what else? So yeah, Borderlands has been a lot of fun. I think I'm gonna actually stick with it until Joe and I beat it. I think I'm actually gonna put the pedal to the metal with him and actually actually beat it with him. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. One thing that I do have to admit is when I start over with the character, it is a little bit lower level than Joe's character. So while Joe is kind of running through, taking care of business, I am still a little bit behind. So I'm probably going to have to, if I'm really going to be diligent with it, I'm probably going to have to play a little bit on my own. Some of the older quests that have not that because when you
I
start
could
up
join your game too, but you probably want me not to gain levels if I'm doing co-op with you on your game. Right?
The thing about it for the most part is it doesn't really help you at all to do that. But I know you just kind of want to play and run around and do stuff, but you're not getting any new gear or anything because all the gear will be kind of no, actually that's not true. The gear is kind of leveled for where you're at. So
No, I remember joining you and it was lower level, but to
it
me it's
was
like once I gather loot, it's like I'm not really looking at, I need to get a better gun. I'm more like I'm accumulating loot so I could sell, so I could like basically pay to get an upgrade to get a bigger backpack. So that's
I know
my goals
I know what
right
you're
now
doing.
on there.
I know what you're doing. You are a digital hoarder. No, I get it. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. And then because I have the Borderland itch, or as Joe puts it, I am hot. I'm hot for Borderlands right now. I did download Borderlands to the Handsome Jack collection, so I did start Borderland 2 by myself just to kind of play it and see how the differences are. And I have to say, like, I really enjoy it. It's a excuse me. It's like that second game is really good. Like it's a very solid, just a really solid good game. And so I'm playing it and I'm having a ball. I'm having a ball with that as well. And I just play it up, I mean I hate to say it to Joe, but I don't sometimes I'll just get in on by myself and I'll just kind of go in and, do my thing and have my fun and it literally is just like maybe play by myself and it's fun. I'm really enjoying it. So what else? What else have I been playing? Oh, I started playing Card in Cell, which is it's funny because Card in Cell is a Mega Man Battle Network kind of clone. It came out it came out a couple months ago, and I saw when we were in Japan, we saw a bunch of stuff about it, and I was just like, this game looks, really kind of cool, and so I, was looking for it, and then there is a American copy that came out a while ago, and I was gonna get it for the Switch, but then I saw it on sale on I saw it on sale on PSN, and so I bought it on PSN, but I also double dipped and I got the Switch version of it as well. And it's a fun little game. It's very silly. It's by NT Creates, and it's basically Battle Network, Mega Man Battle Network without Battle Network. And you play as an armchair detective, and the story is actually kind of cool. It kind of reminds me of Sword Art Online in that what's happening is, there's this stuff called VR or VR drive or VR diving. That's what they call it. And so it's like you put on a headset and you put on your glasses. You put on your like a visor and you put on earplugs and you basically have an avatar. And what's happening is there's like various different online games, that you can go in and play, like MMOs. And there's usually something happens, someone will get something stolen or something will happen. And this guy who you're playing is like a VR detective and he goes into the VR world and he helps people. Well, there's this new VR game that's coming out and it's corrupting other VR games, meaning, and how they're corrupting is, other creatures are showing up in the game that is not from that game. So it's like, you might see a dragon, but the dragon is not from, the game that you're in. It could be from this other game, and all the games that they're referencing have names and stuff, and they're all in world stuff. So it's actually pretty cool So what you have to do is you have to find out what's going on with these they're called mods, but they has an acronym. Japanese folks with their acronyms, it's like something deviant, something deviant, and that's what it is. So you have to go out and you have to fight these mods, So it's just kind of funny. I'm like, okay, so we're calling them mods now. All right, cool. So, but it plays like if you ever played Mega Man, then you know how the game is. You basically run around and you use your cards, but it's a card game. So, which I guess Mega Man Battle Network was kind of a card game as well. I mean, you had different programs that you would execute, and when you executed them, they would it'd move you around and stuff like that. And that's kind of what I mean. That literally is what this game is you have these different movements that you do, and these cards. It is a deck battling roguelite. So, well, it's not a roguelite. It's a deck battler, and if you don't like deck battling, then you probably won't like this game. But if you do, it's actually quite a bit of fun. And you just kind of run around and you go into these different levels and you fight evil programs. It's very straightforward, and it's just been a lot of fun so far. And yeah, it's just if you like Mega Man and you like you're a fan of like deck builders or you don't mind them, then I think that you should really give it a try because it's actually pretty damn good. So, but that's really the only things that I've been playing. Every now and then I'll kick on an older game like Torchlight 2, or I haven't really played much on my Switch lately, but I've been wanting to. But other than that,
what about your Avowed fiction or addiction?
Addiction. We can't really call it an addiction because I don't have it and I didn't buy it. So I was telling Joe like I really want to play it because it's just it's just a fun it looks like it's a fun game and I just really want to play it, but I can't because I got rid of the potato, which is fine. And now that whatchamacallit, what is it? Phil said that it's going to be, everything's going to be coming out for the PlayStation 5. That doesn't really matter, So I can just wait, I can be patient and wait for it to, for it to come to my preferred console, so to speak. So it's fine. I was telling Joe that I was gonna come down there and steal his X, but he had sold his X, so none of us have representation for Xbox anymore. So it just feels kind of.
I have a computer. I have Xbox.
Yeah, and it was annoying the shit out of me because Joe just kept saying we could always play it on Xbox, Game Pass, and I'm like, dude, I'm not doing that. Quit, pimping for Phil, dude. I don't.
I want to give him some options. It's like
no, you don't. No, you don't. Don't sit there and lie to me. You just want to
the power of the cloud. The power of the cloud.
Yeah. So, and I said, if
I'm trying to get one of my best friends the opportunity to play the game that he wants to play now versus later. So,
oh my God. The altruism is just killing me, Joe. Like I thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe.
Enabler.
Of course.
For letting me know. I feel so much better now. No. So basically I'm just gonna have to wait, and it's fine. I don't really care because I've waited for Xbox games to come out on PlayStation. So it'll come out eventually. And if I decide that I really need to play it, I'll just play it on my Steam Deck. Although I've been watching a lot of information regarding Steam Deck and Avowed, and unfortunately, it does not play well on the Steam Deck at the moment. It needs a couple patches for it to really play well on that system. So I'm just gonna wait and wait until it's good, and then if I really feel like I need to play it, I will play it on Steam. but no, the days of Xbox and me are sadly gone for right now. Let's see what they have to do in the next season, or sorry, in the next what's it called? The next console
Generation.
generation. What was that?
Generation, you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. We'll see what happens in the next generation, and if they're able to win me back, well then so be it. But if not, I'm going to just continue to either play it on Steam or wait until it comes to my preferred console. That's kind of where I'm at with Xbox right now. And to tell the God's honest truth, we're going to talk a little bit later about a conversation that Phil had, and it seems like Phil is totally fine with us doing that as well. And hey, if Digital Jesus Phil says it's okay, well then, Dad nabbit, I'm okay with that too. Thank you, Phil. You know,
Phil
for
celebrated a birthday recently. He's 57 years old. So
good for him.
happy birthday, Phil.
Happy birthday, Phil. If you're listening, buddy, happy birthday. You know, you made this happen. So, uh, but that's all I've been playing. So I'm gonna kick it over to my good friend Kev. What you been playing, buddy?
So I've been playing some Wolong. Um, Man, that game is a lot more complicated than I initially thought it would be. It is what would you call that? Like a
Yeah,
Souls-like game with with more heavier RPG elements than I would have expected.
that's kind of
And
good, isn't it?
it's good. I don't mind it. I like it now that I actually understand the systems because the game does not do a very good job of explaining these things to you.
Well, that's not
Like,
good.
for example, you get tons of loot. I mean, you don't get Borderlands level loot as far as the amount, but you get a lot of loot. Just about every time you kill somebody, definitely every time you clear a boss, you're going to get loot. And for weapons, you can upgrade them through the blacksmith using stuff like leather, metal scraps that you pick up, kind of like odds and ends type stuff. But each weapon has an innate martial arts skill attached to it. So you can have multiple. Let's say you're using a one-handed sword. You could have multiple one-handed swords, each with different martial arts skills imbued on them. So the martial arts skills that you have access to have nothing to do with your skill level, which is what I thought it was. It depends on what type of weapon you have and what skills are embedded into that weapon. The same with like gear. Like some gear, what would you call that? Increases your magic in certain areas because you have it's fire, water, earth, metal, and I think there's one more. I can't remember the name of it, but each one of those elements amplifies a different magical attribute. So once I figured that out, I just kind of had to, because I was doing okay in the game as far as progress. I was focusing mostly on melee. And although you can do that in this game, the game really wants you to use magic in conjunction with your melee abilities because you only have three. You have pre-built, pre-programmed combos. It's not like Devil May Cry or anything like that where you kind of have like a free form combo system going on. Every weapon you're going to do the same animation with that weapon regardless of what the martial arts skills are. So what you want to do is you want to find a weapon that you like using, and you have to find a weapon with a martial arts skill that you find useful, apply that, and then have the right gear that is going to amplify whatever magical attribute you decide to roll with. So right now that I understand all that, my primary character is fire based for right now. So I've got some. He's got one skill where he throws like a fireball that splits into 3 or 4, attaches to surrounding enemies, and then detonates. So that's very useful. I've got another one where he can imbue any weapon that he has with the fire attribute, so it inflicts burn. And then I've got another one which is like a what's the other? Oh, it's it amplifies his regular melee damage that he puts out. So as you it's a factor of I think 3 or 4. So if like let's say you got a sword that does 150 damage, then with that imbued on top of whatever other buffs, it's just going to add on to your melee attack damage, which is kind of cool. Another thing that I didn't fully realize, and again, the game doesn't do a good job of teaching you, is that weight plays a factor. I'm pretty sure you can build a tank build in this game, but if you do, you're going to miss out on the ability to parry, because if your metal, I think it's the metal skill, is not high enough, then you lose mobility in how you maneuver around the battlefield, which in turn affects your ability to parry. You can block, standard blocking, you just put your weapon up and you'll block all incoming strikes, but parry is what the game really wants you to do. You can parry anything. You can parry projectiles, you can parry melee, you can parry thrown objects. There's this one demon bird who's kind of like a mini boss. It throws a fireball at you. You can parry that right back at it and it's an instant knockout that allows you to do like crazy damage when it's unconscious. Bosses, you can parry every move that a boss throws at you. So that's really what they want you to do. They really don't want you to block, because when you block, you take on chip damage, and certain gear either amplifies or reduces your chip damage. And it's like a whole bunch of things that you have to keep track of. But you also have to keep track of how much your gear weighs. And I didn't realize all this stuff. I was like 2 bosses in before I realized that there was this whole other level of stuff to the game. So I went in, I've got 2 characters. I've got one that's fire based, like I mentioned before. I've got another one that I'm using now that is lightning based. So, and I just watched a couple of videos on YouTube because I wasn't really having trouble. I was thinking that there's something that I'm just not grasping with the mechanics of. Once I watched a couple of videos that kind of pieced all that stuff together, I was able to. It's like, okay, now I understand how they want you to play this game. Next up, I've been playing the Monster Hunter Wilds beta. I've been focusing on. It's been very good. Mm-hmm. I've been focusing on the bow. They really changed up, and that's the only weapon I use because I didn't want to fiddle with any other weapons, because all of the weapons have fairly substantial changes to them when you compare it to how they were in World. And I didn't want to get caught up in trying to learn a weapon just to have the beta end and me lose all that muscle memory. So I want to stick with something that I know I'm going to use, that I know I understand the base functionality of, which is bow, because that was my primary in World. So I stuck with that. So my only basis for weapon uses for this beta is going to be the bow. They've changed the bow up substantially. So like, first off, although your bows have coating, it is not a item that you pick up and apply. It is each bow has an innate coating that you can apply, and each bow has infinite coating. The issue is that they give you a skill bar that I think it's either three segments or four. I can't. Yeah, it's four segments. I think there might be three. I'm not. It's escaping me now. But that skill bar allows you to do two different things. One, it allows you to apply a coating on the bow. So whether you're doing power coating or a poison, fire, ice, whatever, electric, whatever, you can apply that coating if that bow has it. You apply the coating, that takes up one segment. The other thing that the bow has, which I think is probably one of its most useful functions, is it has a tracer arrow. So tracer arrow is a requirement in order to do big damage on the bow. In World, bow was just like it was a glass cannon. It was just raw damage output, made it probably one of the most highest DPS weapons you could get in World.
Yeah.
It's still high damage in
Wilds.
In Wilds, but you have to prep it first. Like first you got to apply the coating, so you got to do base damage enough to build up your that skill meter. Then you got to apply a coating. Then you, or actually probably you have to apply a tracer arrow. What tracer arrows do is they're like a homing beacon for all your subsequent shots. So wherever you stick that tracer arrow, doesn't matter where you're aiming, your arrows are going to track to that tracer on the monster and cause additional damage. The neat thing also about the tracer arrow is that it increases your what do they call that? The maximum damage each shot can do. So like I don't know if you guys have ever used bow before, but there's a reticle that changes when you're in that realistic perfect distance from the monster where the arrows do the most impact. Yeah, well, with tracer, that extends it. You don't have to worry about that anymore. So like every arrow that you send is going to do maximum damage, and if it's coated, that coated arrow is going to do maximum damage. Doesn't matter what your distance is, doesn't matter how far away you are from the monster. I mean, it's not going to, if the monster runs away, you're not going to be sending, arrows all the way across the battlefield or anything like that, but it increases the distance substantially. The other thing it does is that as you stack up damage, you have the option, and I call it the oh gosh, what was that Sega game on the Saturn? Yes, the Panzer Dragoon effect, because you've got you can lock on to the tracer arrow by holding down L1, and if you have either caused a wound or you still have a tracer arrow in the monster, tracers last for about 10 seconds or so before they detonate. You will do like a Panzer Dragoon multiple arrow attack, so like a whole bunch of homing arrows will go into that tracer, detonate, and that's kind of really how you expose wounds using the bow. If you do that and you launch another Panzer attack, that's just what I'm going to call it. There's a name for it in the game. I can't remember what it is. And you lock onto a wound, then the monster will automatically go into a stumble state, and you will automatically go into a Dragon Piercer for crazy damage. So that's kind of your rinse and repeat for bow. Also, the arc shot is way more effective now. You have you can do like a quick arc shot, and all the arrows that hit the monster, they can be locked onto using the Panzer attack, and then they will detonate. So you're constantly wanting to get your tracer on, build your meter up so you can apply a coating, get as much damage into that tracer before it detonates, and then launch your and then hit it with your panzer attack. And that's really how you build damage in the game. You've also don't have to, although you can take things to build your stamina, like the rations and whatnot. You technically have access to unlimited stamina using bow if you do what they call just dodge, which is basically kind of like a just defense. If you just dodge a monster's attack, you'll get a visual cue that you've done that you've done that, and basically you just iframe the attack, and it will max out your stamina bar. So if you're technically, you can go into a battle with not having to worry about rations to build up your stamina, or meals to build up your stamina, because the meals aspect of the game was not part of the beta. So you can't do the chefs can't cook for you in the beta right now. But technically, if you're using bow and you're skilled enough, you really don't have to eat for stamina anymore or carry rations for stamina anymore, as long as you iframe monster attacks, which is kind of sort of what you have to do with bow to maintain that sweet spot until you get a tracer arrow into it. But graphically, it's great. It looks beautiful. I didn't notice any performance issues. I'm really excited. I think the only thing I don't like, and this is, there's kind of two things I didn't like. One is that certain monsters run in a herd. Like, I think it's like the second monster that you fight, or you have the ability to fight, because you can do the walk amongst the free roam, and you'll come across whatever monsters are available in the beta. But if you do the select the missions to hunt, then there's like an order to them, and you can do them in any order, but I kind of went in the order that they were presented. So I think it's the second monster that you fight runs in a herd of 2 or 3, and that's a pain in the butt, because I always looked at monster hunters being it's like you versus the monster type of deal, one hunter versus one monster, kind of like a one-on-one boss fight. But when you're going up and you're taking on a herd, well, they all 2 or 3 monsters attack you at the same time. So you either have to have dung pods where you can send them off, or you got to fight 2 or 3 monsters at the same time, which is kind of a pain in the butt. I didn't realize that you had just infinite restock in your items. I didn't realize that until like last night, because you go into your tent, and I kept hearing my your companion, who is the what do you call the gal that gives you all the missions? There's a name they have for this person in the game. I can't remember what it is right now. But she kept telling me, "Oh, you've been resupplied. Check your secrets pocket. You've been resupplied. Check your secrets pocket." It just never registered to me, because I was usually in the middle of fighting something. But when you go into your tent, you can load up on dung pods and all this other. So now that I understood that, it's like, okay, well, it's not that big of an issue now. It still can be a bit of a problem, because I can't remember the name of any of these monsters. It looks like a giant buffalo, kind of, with teeth and tusks. It's like the second monster that's presented to you. It runs in a herd of 2 or 3. I hit them things because you have to hunt down the alpha. You only get credit. You only end the mission if you take down the alpha. The other 2 are just to make your life miserable. So the other 2, I must have hit them with small dung pods. In this game, you have big dung pods, which makes like this big, poop mist. And
I don't know.
In the bathroom.
it really, because I hit one of them things with like 2 or 3 of those big pods, and he was not phased, or she was not phased. I'm guessing that they were the females because they were smaller than the alpha, but whoever it was, they wasn't phased. Like, we still here, and I kept hitting them and hitting them. Then they finally ran off, and I could focus on the alpha. But I've hunted all of the monsters. I think I can't remember. I think the beta ends tonight if it hasn't ended already.
I thought they extended it.
I thought this was the extended weekend.
No, they originally planned 2 weekends in a row.
2 weekends in a row. Oh, okay.
They extended the length time because of the PSN outage last weekend. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But I've got one more monster. I've hunted the Arkveld last night, and once I got its attack patterns down, I was able to bring him down. And so the only one I have left is the super whatever the I can't remember the name of it. It uses electric powers. It might be an amplified Arkveld. I don't know, but it's the chain Arkveld. I think that it's got a chain tail, and it's really strong. I haven't hunted that one yet, so I might try and do that one tonight. But game is great. Really looking forward to playing it. I'm going to focus on bow and longsword. I think I'm going to start out with those two. But the only other thing that I didn't like in the game is the fact that every time you jump on your secret, you change weapons. So you cannot take in the tent, you cannot opt to only take one weapon, or if you can, I didn't see where you can make that adjustment in the option. So any listeners who have maybe seen that or figured that out, clue your boy in and let him know. Because every time you hop on the secret, it will pull out your secondary weapon, whether you want to or not. So I'm focusing on bow. I fight a monster, it runs off. I hump back on the secret. My character will automatically grab the second weapon, just off rip. And so I've got to make him reach back into the pocket and get the bow again, and then continue. There's got to be a way to turn that off. It only makes sense to me that you would be able to do that, but I don't know. I didn't know how to. But those are the only two things that I didn't like. I wasn't too particularly crazy about. The secret thing is just an annoyance. The herd thing, when you've got infinite poop pods, you can make it work. But I'm thinking in game, you're going to be farming a lot of poop pods. There's a lot of these monsters running a herd.
I remember playing the original Monster Hunter and farming everything, including poop. So,
Joe loved it.
I loved it. Yeah. And that beta is ending in 1 hour as we speak.
Okay.
So.
All right.
I guess I'll have to end the news quickly. That way you can jump on and play for 15 minutes or something.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm not worried. I got plenty of time in on the beta, so I was going to buy the game anyway, but I just wanted to get a taste for the changes that they made to bow. EDF 6, I'm 102 missions in on EDF 6. I thought the game ended at 100 missions, but apparently it doesn't.
Of course not.
So
it's a gift that keeps on giving.
It is a gift that keeps on giving. Yeah, and I am fighting plenty of gifts. I'm fighting these Godzilla-sized mermaids that are attacking, and they don't look like traditional mermaids. They basically look like Godzilla rejects, really, like literally dudes in rubber suits, and they come out and they spew out this poison, and their attacks they'll spit out like some kind of foam that poisons you, and they like to do these belly slides, and then when they belly slide, they're so big they knock buildings down, and they'll knock you way up in the air and cause you to tumble forever and a day. But
Joe?
yeah, Just but that game is a lot of fun. And then I jumped into Helldivers 2, played that with the homie Damon. He is like level 55 now. Now I'm still in the 30s because
Rise up,
I haven't
Damon.
been
Rise up.
Damon's having fun.
I have not been playing that game. Well, I haven't been playing a whole lot because I've been doing other stuff, but yeah, he's been in it to win it on Helldivers 2. So jumped in and ran a few missions with him. Still enjoying that game. A couple of updates they added for the stalker. They created an acid stalker for the bugs because the bugs weren't horrible enough as they were. So they added these things that can cloak, which the stalker could already do, but now this one will sneak up behind you cloaked and just start spewing acid on you. On top of trying to cut you in half with its pinchers. So yeah, a lot of fun with Helldivers 2 as well. And that's going to wrap up my gaming week. I had planned to check out Captain America, the new Captain America movie that came out on the 14th. You saw it? Was it good?
It was bad. I mean, they're calling it Captain Mid, and I'm like, it was enjoyable. Let's just say it was enjoyable. They were definitely trying to take a little bit of what happened with Captain America, the Winter Soldier, and give this a little bit to Sam. One of the reviewers that I watch a lot basically said that it felt like they took a bunch of Marvel, they took a bunch of Marvel history or continuity and decided to make a movie about it. It's sort of like what they did with, people might believe me, but or not understand, but it's like it's the same thing they did with the second Spider-Man movie, where Mysterio released Peter Parker's his identity to everybody. It's like that. And the reason why I say it's like that is because that movie was based on the fact of what happened in Winter Soldier. So if you watch Winter Soldier, then that movie makes even more sense because it follows what happened in Winter Soldier. So, that's the impetus for Winter Soldier and the other Captain America, Civil War. So if you've watched those movies, then you'll have a deeper understanding of what happened with the Spider-Man movie. I think it's Far From Home Far From Home. So yeah, Marvel nowadays is just taking what has come before and they're building upon it to make new stuff, and that's what Captain America was. I know people were super excited to get a rampaging Hulk because people were mad about the new Hulk because he is smart Hulk now and he's not, crazy and angry and mean and, so you finally get that with the Red Hulk. Yeah, you get that with Red Hulk quite a bit. The Red Hulk sequences were, in my opinion, they were fantastic. Like the way the Red Hulk looked and how he fought and the battle between him and Sam, I really enjoyed it. So aspects of that I really enjoyed. Like, I don't know. I think people, I don't know what people want anymore with their movies. They're all like, oh, I want a good story. Well, the story was pretty good. Oh, I wanted to reference other stuff from what's happening and not forget stuff. Well, this whole big thing really, happened, and they added a new thing. I don't want to spoil it, but they added something that people were excited about. So I don't know, like your mileage may vary, but I thought it was fun. Should you see it for full price? Probably not. I don't think you should see any movie for full price nowadays because they're just so damn expensive. So no, see it on a matinee. If you want to stream it, that would be fine too. Is it friendly for all kids? Definitely. I think one of the things what's really kind of crazy, or what people really are thinking about it, is Anthony Mackie, for whatever reason, I just don't think he has the star power that people want, and I don't know why that is. It's just he doesn't have that gravitas, But I think people also are really trying to make it like oh, he's not Captain America anymore. It's like, well, no, he's not. He's Sam Wilson. He's a completely different character. You got damn near 20 years of Captain America. Let someone else be it. It's fine. It's within the canon.
Well, I mean, because I remember, because again, I haven't picked up so I'm coming I'll be coming into this as a complete comic tourist because I haven't picked up a comic book in at least 25, almost 30 years. And I remember back in the early 90s, Cap passed the shield to Bucky.
Oh yeah,
if I'm remembering correctly, he passed the shield. Yeah, he passed the shield to Bucky. Yeah. And it's like once you do that with a character, they become a mantle. Yeah. And the mantle can be passed on to anybody. Now, that doesn't mean you have to like it. That doesn't mean you have to, like the way that Marvel, or whether it's Marvel or DC, is taking it. But to say, oh, well, this isn't Captain America, well, yeah, it is, because they made the decision to make him a mantle now. He is not just Steve Rogers anymore. He is a mantle, which means that it can be passed on to anybody that the creators see fit. Now, again, I'm not saying that means you have to like it, but when folks say, oh, this isn't Captain America, and I'm saying this as a complete comic book tourist, that's a false statement. Yeah, he is.
And it made sense. Like, and even in the movie, he is talking. Sam is talking about, like, because the thing about, like, hey, should I take the super soldier serum? Should I do this? Should I do that? So even he is kind of thinking about, like, should I be doing this? Should I be here? Should I be this person? And I really enjoyed it for that. And I thought you can look at it and be like, okay, even Sam is having, a little bit of doubts about what's going on, but by the end, there is no doubt at the end, that he is now Captain America. And it just, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was better than the last couple of movies. I do think that Marvel is really trying hard to come back, to bring it back, and I'm cool with it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Is it necessary to see? Because I know they had the Sam Wilson in that Disney Plus series, right? And I saw the first episode at your house, but I know I didn't watch the remainder of it. But
you see, like, they introduce Isaiah Bradley, and Isaiah Bradley, if you're familiar with the comics, was the original. He is the original Captain America. So people don't seem to realize this and I think people don't like this, that Marvel did this, and I think I give them kudos for doing this, but they basically said back in the day, we basically experimented on black folks, and Isaiah Bradley was the first Captain America. And that pissed a lot of people off because they were like, well, no, Steve Rogers is. It's like, no, this is, they basically said, which made total sense if you're paying attention to, like, the history of the U.S. They ain't testing it on no blonde hair, blue eyed person yet. They're going to test it on a black person first. And that's what they did. And so Isaiah Bradley was the first Captain America, and they introduced him in that series, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. Or Captain America and the Winter Soldier. They introduced them in that series, and so that is, or Falcon and Winter Soldier. That is where they introduced him, and he's carried over into the movie. So you could watch that and see him and what happened to him. But they do a pretty good job of explaining, who he is and what he is to everyone else in the movie. So technically, you don't really need to, see the other movie if you don't want to. But I do think that it helps, or the TV series. I do think that it helps, and you get to see Sam training with the Shield, and I thought that was really good because he's damn good with the shield. Like I tell you.
Mm,
So
okay.
I definitely think it's worth it. I definitely think it's worth it. Um, but,
Okay. Okay.
but yeah.
All right. So I'm going to move on to our next topic on the docket, which is the new segment that I've started called Shonuf's Retro Recon. And this episode is going to focus on two games. First one I'm going to talk about is Tapper, and these are games that I've been playing on my retro system that I have plugged into my PC, the Ken Hank, and this thing again has just about every video game you can imagine has ever been created. It's on there. So the first game I'm going to talk about is Tapper, and Tapper is when I finally get to the point where I can have my own arcade, I have to have a Tapper machine. Um,
That good, huh?
dude, I love this game. I want to say I first played it in, oh gosh, it wasn't Farrell's. Or it might have been Farrell's. I can't remember. But this game came out back in 1984 and was developed by a company called Marvin Glass and Associates, but it was published in Japan by Sega, which I did not know. And it was published in the U.S. by Bally Midway. They were the publisher for the U.S. as well as Europe. This game was also sponsored by Anheuser-Busch because the first version of this game that I played called Tapper is Budweiser Tapper, and it has a Budweiser theme, and as you play they got the Budweiser sign, dancing girls come out. Now that same year that the game came out, they did, and I found this out, initially Tapper was only supposed to be sold to bars. This was a game and it really makes sense because
Yeah.
the Anheuser-Busch Tapper has Budweiser, has these like brass looking, they're made out of plastic, but they have taps. And as you move the bartender around and you serve the beer, you pull down on the tap and that makes him serve and throw the beer down the bar to the incoming customers.
I remember this game.
Yeah.
I haven't thought of that game in forever. Yeah, you can play it at one of the pizza parlors.
Yeah. So they came out with Root Beer Tapper because there was a worry. Well, you don't want to encourage underage drinking, so that's
the one that I played.
Yeah, but the original one was sponsored by Anheuser-Busch, and that's the version that's on the Ken Hank. So basically, there are several rows of bars of bar tables. On the opposite end of those bar tables, you have kegs of Bud Light or Budweiser, whatever. And you can teleport from each keg, hit the button to dish up a mug of beer, and you hit the button again to throw it down to the incoming customers. The game your round ends is when you clear out the bar, or the angry customers get to the end of the bar. You haven't served them yet, so they'll automatically grab you and they'll throw you out the bar. Then you lose.
Yep.
You lose a turd.
Yep.
But
I remember.
This game. I once I found that game on the Ken Hang, I must have played this for like almost 30-40 minutes. It was just. It was crazy. It just kind of brought back those memories because I played it here in Fresno. I want to say it was Farrell's, but I don't think that's where it was. It might have been at Showtime, or it might have been at Chuck E. Cheese. I can't remember back that far where. I know I played for sure in Los Angeles visiting family there. But it's a great game. It also came out for the home. I didn't realize this either. It came out for Apple II, Atari 2600, ColecoVision, Commodore 64, and it also hit some of the European computer home computer home PCs like the Spectrum, the BBC Micro, and like there was another one that it came out with that came out with it. I had a ColecoVision, but I did not I do not have the ColecoVision version of Tapper. I may kind of look for that. I'll check out the eBays to see if it's available somewhere. But
That's cool.
But yeah, that game a lot of fun. And when I'm able to put my own arcade together, Tapper is definitely going to be there. So like the last game I'm going to talk about is called, well, in America it was called High School Graffiti. In Japan, it was called Mikey, and it's got a name after that I cannot pronounce. It's like Shinyu Shan Torokun. I think that's the best I could do for it.
Sounds pretty good.
Produced by Konami, also in 1984. Produced and developed by Konami, actually. Distributed by Century in North America. Now, the thing about my personal connection to this game was back in the day where my homie Damon lived at the time. There was this place called the Burger Spot, and it was like a mom and pop burger joint. And the burgers were okay, but I remember one day he called me and said, "Dude, they got this arcade game at the Burger Spot. You got to check it out." And it was Mikey, or the version that they had was called High School Graffiti. Now, what's interesting about this is that this game, you are a student in class, and you have to collect pieces of a love letter from your girlfriend.
Aww.
And the way you do that is you have to the pieces of the letter are hidden under different students' desks. You got to get up, kick those students out of their desk.
Okay.
Sit down, pick up the letter. Once you get enough pieces, you're able to leave the classroom and go to the next section. Now, I've only been able to get to the high school locker room, which is like the second level. There's two more after that I've never seen because I haven't been able to get to it. Initially, your only defense again, because the teacher is in there and he's going back and forth at the chalkboard, writing E = MC square, and then there's a couple of different versions where they have something different because there was an issue in Japan where they didn't want this game to be a bad influence on the youth. I didn't know this, that in Japan, they had Mikey take place in an office where like there's a boss instead of a teacher. It's basically the same game, but you're in an office now, you're an adult. And they thought that having a high school kid running around kicking other kids out of the seat would be a bad influence. Which is kind of wild to me. It's kind of wild to me. But your defense is you can headbutt. So you can headbutt the teacher to stun him. Oh
my God, this game.
Yeah.
This game.
The updated versions, the different version. Now, the one that they had at Burger Spot was weird because it was the version where you could still headbutt, but when you got caught, you bowed down prostrate crying in front of the teacher or whoever stopped you, because I guess they didn't like the idea of a teacher technically quote unquote killing a student, even though there is no killing done. The teacher touches you and you fall out and you're just I don't know, but that game was a lot of fun. You have to headbutt everybody to get them stunned. I only made it to the locker room where you have to headbutt the lockers to get the pieces of the letter out, and then there's a dance room where kids or students are learning ballet, and you have to dodge the ballet students to get the pieces of the letter, still being chased by your homeroom teacher and whoever else is in there. And then the last level is the football field, where you have to dodge the football team, and each one of them I guess they're protecting parts of the letter, and your girlfriend's at the end of the football field, so you got to get to her. You do that and you clear the game. I haven't seen those last two levels, but those two games, if you have access to Retro or MAME or something like that, definitely would recommend playing Tapper and Mikey or High School Graffiti. I think they're both really fun games that I think you'll have a lot of fun with. You may not play them as long as I did, but these two had a special place in my heart in my formative years. So that's why I played them so much over the past couple of weeks, rather.
Tapper sounds amazing.
I was just reading about Mikey, and I guess according to the story, I saw that they used unlicensed like chiptune versions of Beatles songs in the game. So,
well, awesome. See, they did, but apparently they were able to get the license. I don't know how that worked, because the thing I read said it was initially it was still a chip tune, but I guess it was some kind of way they were able to make that work. I don't know. The version that's on the Ken Hank does have the Hard Day's Night. It's not only the Beatles. You've got Hard Day's Night, but by the Beatles, you also have Chuck Berry plays on another level, and I think there might be one more. Because let me see, because it actually tells you. It actually tells me here and there. It's Hard Day's Night by the Beatles, and it's also what was that Chuck Berry song? I just saw it. I lost it. But yeah, there's a Chuck Berry song in there as well, which I'm sure they didn't get permission to do either.
Probably not.
Initially.
Almost guarantee it they didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really back in 1984, a game that comes out in Japan, arcade game that comes out of Japan, they probably got away with a lot of stuff that they couldn't get away with now, as far as using licensed material. But yeah, so those are the two games for the retro recon for this episode. So that's going to push us to our next topic on the docket, and that is the main event. All right, Des, you got the mic, my friend.
All righty. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and thank you for everyone who took the time to answer what we've been doing right now. If you don't know, is we've been taking questions from our listeners, and we've been answering them and then putting it out to all of you. That way we can have more conversations on our Discord or through email or through the comment sections on YouTube. We are on YouTube, so definitely, come over there, like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff, because we're doing this for y'all. So so the intro question is always, we have brought the questions to you every episode. Now it's your turn. Ask us any gaming related question and we answer them on the show. So lay it on us and we will discuss. So our next question comes to us from longtime listener, two-time rolling credits champion, Crucial Chase, who says, what is a toy from childhood that you always wanted that you never got? Wow. So I was thinking about this, and basically I think the one that I wanted that I never got would have to have been, I want to say, Optimus Prime, the Transformer. I never got him. I remember the first Transformer I ever bought. I bought it with my own money, and that was Mirage. He was the one that turned into a Lamborghini, I think it was, or was it sunscreen? I think it was sunscreen. And I just absolutely loved it. I remember going to Consumers on West and West and Shaw Consumers, where the Aldi's is now, and that whole area. I never forget going in there and looking through the Consumers catalog and saying, ooh, I want this one. And they went into the back and they brought it out, and I handed the man my money, and I was like, woohoo! So that's one that I got. One that I toy that I never got was Optimus Prime. I don't know, for whatever reason I never got him, and I wanted him, and I was just like, why can't I get him? And I don't know why. I never did. I think I got more into, like, because my cousins and everything, they were able to get it, so I would just kind of play with it at their house. But yeah, I think that was the one that I remember thinking and being like, damn, I really wish I could have got that. I really wish I could have had that in my collection, but I never did. C'est la vie. Joe, what is a toy from your childhood that you always wanted but never got? Although I don't think you probably, since you're like the only boy, you probably got everything you ever wanted. I know your dad would probably come through and be like, if you got tired of it, he would just wrap that shit up and take it back, get you something else, right?
They didn't really come that way, because it's like, I remember, because I didn't see Star Wars right at the beginning. It was 1977 that Star Wars came out. But I always saw the Kenner toys at the various stores, and it's like I was interested in it, but I hadn't seen the movies yet. So, and my dad pretty much just put me to task, saying, "You're a boy, you don't play with dolls." So it was a thing where my dad kind of set things straight. My dad, he helped me. He got me into collecting comics when I was like 7 years old, and so it's not only did I read comics, I actually started to go and pick up comics every week, like back in like 1977, 1978. He took me down to Wonderland Comics, and I met Wayne for the first time when I was just a kid. Back when Wonderland used to be on Blackstone, on Abbey, basically down there, before they moved to Tower District. So, and it's just a point that my dad just did the toy thing. I remember as a kid, I asked for like things like a McDonald's playset and stuff like that I got when I was like 4 and 5 years old. But once I became like 7, 8 years old, it's like, yeah, no. I put some stuff on my Christmas list, and it's like, I got like stuff like the slot cars, and I'm trying to think of the slot cars. So Tycho, I think.
Probably.
There's Tycho. There was AFX. There was Aurora.
Yeah. I think it might have been Aurora. It was the one that went up the wall and whatnot. So, but I'm making this longer than what it should be. Pretty much. I remember 4th grade, I believe, in 1979, 1980-ish. I saw one of my classmates brought to school one of those Shogun Warriors.
Oh, wow.
I not even remember which one it is. It's probably Mazinger Z, probably.
It was probably Mazinga, because that's the one I wanted.
Yeah, and I saw that son of a bitch, because that thing was taller than.
Yep.
It was like, I think 3-4 feet, I believe.
Yep.
So, and it's like,
and it shot the missiles.
Yeah, it shot the missiles. So it's like, I always wanted one of those. I just never bothered to ask, because I would probably have gotten the whole heave-ho from my parents, unfortunately. And I was already collecting like tons of comics at the time. And, I knew what side my bread was buttered, quote unquote. So other toys of that era too that I always was curious about, because I read the comic series of, but I never bought any one toy, was like ROM Space Knight for whatever reason. And I love that comic for whatever reason. I read all 75 issues of it, and Micronauts too. Micronauts were kind of crazy. I read the comic, but I never collected one of the toys on there. I don't know were you familiar with either of those, Kev? You remember ROM Space
Micronauts?
Or Micronauts, yeah.
No, I've heard of them, but I can't get a mental picture of them.
Yeah. Yeah, both comic series. I mean, for me, it's like, it was like I was collecting everything at the time. So it's like, and Micronauts was a good Marvel series on there. Rob Space Knight's kind of mid. I could probably tell you that right now. You
How
probably
dare
never,
you?
what, you like Rob Space Knight?
It was cool. I had a Raw Space Knight when I was a kid.
Oh, there you go. See, you
And I
got to
read
collect the,
story. I read the
you read the
I
comic?
mean, well, when he was in X-Men, yeah, the dire raids and all that stuff like that I did, but
Yeah, I had the whole 75 issue run of Rom Space Knight. It's crazy that I remember it was 75 issues exactly.
it's back. I mean, well, a while ago it came back. So
Yeah, I saw it when I was like looking around after this question came up. It was like
you're
fun to
looking
think
around for
about.
ROM. You're like, I gotta get ROM.
No, it was always something it always resonated with me as a kid reading that series. And same thing with Micronauts, because Micronauts, I think the artist on that particular series was Michael Golden. I love Michael
Yeah,
Golden.
Michael Golden stuff was legendary,
Yeah,
fantastic stuff.
yeah. I
Yeah.
believe he was on that run like at the beginning of that series. I'm not sure how deep that series got. I think it got to like around the 40-ish issues and then it stopped.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my answer right there. So
Cool.
my top three trifecta: Shogun Warriors, Micronauts, and Rom Space Knight. So
All right, Kev. What about you?
So I really don't have probably the closest to that for the toy that I wanted but never got would probably be Mazinga, which Joe mentioned. But I will mention kind of like it's something that I liked, but I wasn't crazy over, but I had an opportunity that I did not take advantage of, and it's in line with the Transformers thing. So way back in the day, there was this toy store called Arthur's Toys.
Arthur's Toys. Bring
Yes.
it. Bring
All
it
right.
home. Yes.
I do not remember what the occasion was, but my dad took it. It was actually not too long before he passed away. I can't really remember the years in between, but it wasn't too long. It was still somewhere along there. Anyway, Arthur's Toys was closing. The original owners were shutting down. Now they did reopen at that same location, but it wasn't the same people that owned it. And my dad knew the owner or one of the owners. I don't know if they were golfing buddies or what, but they knew each other. And whenever it was like a birthday or Christmas, Arthur's, when I was a kid, either my mom or my dad would take me to Arthur's Toys and let me look and geek out and spaz out like an idiot, and they'd figure out what I wanted. Okay. So Arthur's Toys is closing. They're blowing everything out, including Gen 1 Transformers for pennies on the dollar. They had them by the case. They had Optimus Prime. They had Megatron. They had Wheeljack. They had Hound, Starscream, all that stuff. Okay. Now my dad had taken me to Arthur's Toys and I can't remember again. It might have been for good grades. It might have been for some. I can't remember why, but I wanted Intellivision games. And my dad said, "Hey, you like Transformers?" And I did, because I used to watch the cartoon. I liked them, but I wasn't like into them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says they got them. He said they're closing up. Dude. He had boxes of these at Arthur's Toys. I saw them with my own two eyes. And the thing about it is that I'm the weird kid who would have got them and never taken them out of the box. I would have just looked at them, because I used to do that with my 132nd model cars they're still in the box. I never once took them out. I would have treated them like that. So I would have had original Optimus Prime still in the box, Megatron still in the box, untouched, Starscream, all that stuff, I could probably retire by selling all that stuff. And again, Arthur's Toys was closing, so they were just blowing that stuff out for I don't know how deep the price was, but my dad was like, however many you want and whatever you want, I will buy it for you. Which getting those words to come out of my dad's mouth was very rare. So I don't know I just know it was substantial, and he just had boxes of the stuff. But no, I didn't see it. I didn't see the opportunity in front of me. I wanted some Intellivision games, which he did have on sale, but they weren't. My dad was trying to get me to get the Transformers because I don't think he wanted to spend the money on the games.
He's like, these are on sale. Let's do it, kid. Yeah, I can imagine that.
So that is like one of those opportunities that I could have jumped on, but I didn't see. I had the blinders on because I was into Intellivision. So yeah, I'm not going to call that a toy that I wanted but never got. It was something that I liked, and an opportunity I should have been able to jump on, but I didn't realize it. Didn't realize it.
Oh well, I mean, that happened. Hindsight's 2020, folks. That's what they say. So, but yeah, let us know in the comments. Let us know on our Discord. Let us know on YouTube or wherever. What's a toy from childhood that you always wanted that you never got, and maybe we'll take the time to read it on the show. So definitely do that. Also, if you have any questions that you want us to ask ask the listeners or the community, or you want us to talk about, please definitely don't hesitate. Put it in our Discord or on the YouTubes. And if you want to know how to get on our Discord, stay till the end, as Kev is going to let you know how to do that. But that's it from me, and you know who follows me. It's the Jabroni Gaming News.
All right, thank you, Des.
Welcome, sir.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and start off with the February 2025 State of Play. And so instead of me going down the laundry list of everything that was shown on the show, I'm just going to go ahead here and we're going to, all three of us, talk about the games that we liked from the show. I'll go and lead off just to kind of give an idea as far as how this is going to work on there. But it was a 45-minute overall show. They unveiled quite a few things on the State of Play, and pretty much the stuff that kind of stuck out to me as far as what I enjoyed and liked. I liked the announcement for Digimon Story Time Stranger. I felt like the art in that looked pretty excellent. So why were you going for?
Okay.
But
get out of here with that Digimon crap.
Get out of here. Get out of here with your bad takes over here. Get out
bad
of here.
Bad takes?
Yeah.
Digimon. Get out of here with that. What? Oh my God. Pokemon's edgier little brother. Get out of here.
I don't give a flying rat's ass about the lore of Pokemon and that the Pokemon is like top tier, like gold bar. It's like, there's more. It's like, saying like the first like fighting game, everything should be Street Fighter and Street Fighter only. It's like there's room in this world for Digimon. Yeah.
Digimon had the better cartoon. That's all I know. Because I couldn't get into the Pokemon one, but I did watch the Digimon one. They had the better cartoon.
I'm coming out of this. I have no affinity towards Digimon whatsoever. I've only played the video games from the last like 5 to 10 years. So it's like, I just appreciate, one, that it is a different take on a monster taming game on here. And I don't really care if it's Pokemon or Digimon or whatever. If it's in that same wheelhouse, I'm interested in it, so. It's not like it's going to be Pokemon Ride or Die, bitch, or anything like that. So it's like I first, when I saw the trailer, I mean, I heard that this game was announced or listed on a website for a pre-order, but I thought at first, especially with the Bandai Namco stuff, that it kind of almost looked like a God Eater like game. I was expecting, because it's the 10th anniversary of God Eater, that it might even have been like a God Eater 4 or something like that.
That would have been better.
But I mean, I guess if you want to talk about it right now, but I am my interest is cued in this game, so maybe I'll have to dive in and pick out a Digimon game from my back catalog and get a better idea before purchasing this thing and seeing if your take is better or if my take for being excited for this thing is actually
I'm just giving
valid.
You if you want to be excited for it, more power to you. I'm just giving you shit for it. But overall, I could care less because I just don't really. I was never a fan of Digimon. I never really got into it. I could not tell you anything about the lore. So yeah. So there's that. I was just giving you crap.
Of course.
Because I can.
So, all right. Other games that kind of caught my eye. Shinobi Art of Vengeance looked like par excellent on here. At first, when I saw it at the beginning, I didn't catch the Sega like little blurb, and so I was thinking, wait, is this the new Ninja Gaiden that they announced at the Game Awards? It's like, oh, no, not the same. Then as soon as I saw like some of the elements as far as the graphics and whatnot, and I saw Joe Higashi riding the dog, kind of Shadow Dancer business, this game's going to be hot fire. It's coming out on August 29th. It's coming out for every platform known to man, including PlayStation platforms, of course, but I'm going to be there day one for that bad boy. Also, too, what I kind of was really interested in is the Onimusha Way of the Sword trailer on there. I've always dabbled in those games from the PS2 era, and so I think they're in a good spot to release a great game out of that. So, and it wasn't really quote unquote a surprise. Now, the games that were kind of surprising to me that were announced at the show that I hadn't seen before was that Tides of Annihilation. It's a new PS5 action adventure game from a Chinese studio on there, and it's just kind of bananas to see the level of detail in that game and what was shown in the trailer. So it was also a favorite of mine, and I would have to say, I don't know if you guys liked it or not, but that Metal Eden reveal trailer, that sci-fi looking like with a lot of that trap music playing and whatnot, looks pretty damn badass. It's coming out on May the 6th on there, but kind of enjoyed that trailer as well. So, Dez, I'm going to kick it over to you and your Digimon hating ass. What
Are
did
you
want to? Yeah.
Are you sure? Just getting ready to go through all of them, I thought, so I wasn't sure if you had.
I'm just kind of letting you guys know and letting listeners know what caught my eye on this state of play. So
Tides of Annihilation, Final Fantasy Light, that was kind of nice. I thought it was good. So I probably will be picking that up because it looked super good. If you haven't seen the trailer, it's definitely worth it. It does feel like it's trying to stand on the back of Final Fantasy, which is great, because if you're gonna try to stand on the back of any franchise, Final Fantasy is one to do. I thought Split Fiction was fun. It is by the guys who did It Takes Two, so it is a full-on cooperative, two-player game, and I thought that just was like such a cool idea, and now they're kind of expanding upon that. So yeah, I think that'd be really kind of cool. It's like a step up. I won't say step up, but it's a little bit taking that idea from Tales of the Savage Planet and those other two-player games that you got to work together to do stuff. And I thought that was really kind of cool. And then the other one that I thought was really kind of interesting that really just kind of spoke to me was Lost Soul Aside. I thought that looked kind of fun. It's very stylish. Again, another somewhat I don't say Final Fantasy-esque, but it sort of felt like it as well. But it was giving me that Final Fantasy with the Noctis type stuff because the guy really made me feel that it was like Noctis. So, but that felt pretty good. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about, and that's definitely Borderlands 4. I know that been seeing a lot of, not a lot, but some of the stuff from Borderlands, and I'm here for 4 because hey, um, it can only go up from 3 in that movie, so let's hope. And they announced they're going to be doing something on coming up soon. They're going to be talking about exactly what's going on. We got an actual date that's going to be out on September 23rd. I think that's great. I think that's they're going to be giving a little bit more about said game soon. So those were really the ones that kind of stuck out for me that really felt that I felt like, okay, this is going to be really fun. Let's take care of this. Let's go, but Kev, let's round it off, buddy. What's in your thoughts?
So I'm going to say the Sonic Racing Cross Worlds.
No, really?
That hit me because that. Okay, I'm one of those people that think, and is probably blasphemy to say, but I thought Sonic Team Racing was better than the Mario Kart that was out at the time. I mean, that's just me.
That is fighting word, sir.
I know. But
damn.
Now there was another one that I can't remember the name of it, but that one was not as good as Sonic Team Racing. I can't remember the name of it now, but Sonic Team Racing was the sweet spot for kart racers, in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm a connoisseur of kart racers, and I know all the ins and outs to every Mario Kart ever. I don't, but all I can tell you is that I played the Mario Kart that was out at the time. It might have been Mario Kart 8 or it might have been 7. I don't remember. But Sonic Team Racing was just a better game. It was. So seeing Sonic Racing Crossroads kind of hit me in a way I wasn't expecting, because I was like, I just make it as good as Team Racing and I will be absolutely happy. Soros at the end, the last game they showed, I think, what was it? Soros?
Yeah.
Sono? Yeah.
Saros, yeah.
Saros, yeah. Definitely hype for that. I have not gone back and finished Returnal. I need to do that. I made it to the second boss. I can get the second boss almost dead, but he goes into a secondary attack pattern that always wipes me out.
It's not even my final 4.
Other people tapped out at the third boss, but I think there have been some updates since the game launched that have made that game a little bit more digestible for old folks with bad reflexes like me. So I will probably go back and play that game because I think Returnal is absolutely fantastic. Housemarque, I think it's Housemarque at their best. And when the developer got on screen and said, we are taking everything we learned from Returnal and we're putting where it's Katie bar the door on Saros, day one, you already got my money just by saying that. So can't wait for that. I'm curious about I'm curious about Directive 8020. I'll say that I'm curious about it.
The horror element kind of like threw it off, and it looks like this weird sort of like The Thing kind of thing.
Yeah.
So part of me's kind of like, I don't know.
But I'm wondering if it's like a Too Human type game where there's more story and not so much gameplay. I'll need to see some more information on that. Shinobi for sure.
Yeah, that looked fun.
Hell Is Us got my attention. The combat looks interesting. The fact that it's like some melee with a drone. I'm intrigued by that. although I never finished the game, the Lies of P Overture DLC looked really good. I will probably go back at some point and finish Lies of P. I think Wolong has kind of put me in a mind frame of playing action games like that, even though it's technically not. Lies of P is more closer to what's that Souls game that everybody wants them to either bring out the sequel or the remake. Bloodborne. Yeah, it's probably closer to Bloodborne in his pacing. But Wolong has kind of got me rekindled that interest in those types of games. So I was impressed by Overture. The Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza just looks batshit crazy.
It looks super silly.
I can't wait to play it too.
I need that in my life, definitely. Lost Soul aside, I've been jonesing for that game since its initial announcement. You know, Devil May Cry in a Final Fantasy skin, day one for me on that one as well. Mind's Eye had me intrigued, which kind of reminded me of like I don't know if y'all ever played Kill Switch or Kill.Switch way back in the day. It was kind of like well, for me, there might have been others that came before it, but for me, Kill.Switch was the first third-person shooter that I played on console that implemented a cover mechanic. I know Gears of War came after that and kind of became the standard for it, but for me, it was Kill.Switch, which I think was a Namco game, if I'm not mistaken. But
you're correct.
All right, so Mind's Eye gives me kind of Kill.Switch vibes, and I'm intrigued by that. This whole, augmented person, special abilities, but the core gameplay is machine guns and blowing stuff up. I love that. I love that in the video game. So Mind's Eye grabbed my attention.
It gave me some Fast and the Furious vibes. It's just kind of crazy.
Car driving.
Yeah, with the driving too. Yeah, indeed. I'm hoping that the driving is just not a means of transporting you toward the next, gunplay scene. I hope that there is like a gameplay loop that is wrapped around the driving.
I think there is actually. So
yeah, so I definitely hope that's the case. So Mind's Eye has me definitely intrigued. Onimusha, Way of the Sword, of course. I mean, that goes without saying. Onimusha 2 as well. I'll be there for that game. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I had that on PlayStation 2. It's been many. I think I still have my copy, but it has been many years since I played Onimusha 2, so I will definitely be there. I don't know if it'll be day one. It all depends on what else I'm playing at the time, but definitely want to jump back into Onimusha 2 for that remaster. And Tales of Annihilation, for sure. That's definitely a me game. Absolutely. Definitely a me game. Can't wait to check that out. And believe it or not, even though a lot of people are crapping on it, I'm interested in the Days Gone remastered because
really, okay.
Yeah, because I enjoyed Days Gone. The reasons why I didn't stick with it was because the game that was pitched was not the game that was delivered. So I was looking at it the way that the developers pitched it, meaning that, you could use the Horde as a weapon in and of itself in the environment to take down your enemies. That really didn't play out. And basically the Hordes were there, but it was just, fight off a whole bunch of Horde and zombie hordes and try to survive, which is fine, but I just couldn't get past that. Plus with the performance issues on PS4, kind of hindered my enjoyment of it. I had glitches where There would be set pieces that would completely disappear that I needed to interact with. I couldn't, and it kind of forced me to do resets. So, but now that they've gone and remastered it, it's got the the PS5 Pro treatment. I'm inclined to go back to this game because I think had it had just been billed as a straight up, zombie adventure, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But they really pushed that whole horde stuff, and it just didn't deliver on that aspect. But knowing that, not having the performance issues on console like it did when it first came out, I'm inclined to check this game out again. I doubt it will be a day one because I'll probably be playing other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I will definitely have Days Gone remastered in my library at some point.
Yeah, me too. It comes out in April, so I mean it's a good window. I think we'll probably still be playing Monster Hunter at that point, but we'll have to see. Yeah, one thing too, it's if you look at the fine print, this says you could upgrade it for $10, but you have to actually own the game to be able to upgrade it for $10. They have in the fine print that if you have the PlayStation Plus version, because it was free for a month on Plus at one point, it was also part of the ambassador catalog or whatever they gave when you bought a PS5. It was in that catalog as well. On there, and you cannot upgrade either the PlayStation Plus or the
Ambassador,
the game catalog that was included on the PlayStation 5 to the Super Degradus edition. You're gonna have to dole out $50 for Days Gone if that is your choice. So I'm hoping you might have to walk that back. I think we'll see as far as what outrage or if there's any outrage about it, but I'm kind of wait to see. There is no physical for it either, so it's a point that if you want to play it,
I didn't expect it to be.
And they remastered like Until Dawn and released it physically, so it's like if they're gonna do that for Until Dawn, I mean, what the hell? Why not Days Gone? So
I think the reason why they're doing it is because they're trying to get some more. They didn't get enough money for Days Gone the first time it went by.
I think Until Dawn probably sold more than Days Gone.
Exactly.
That's probably why they're doing it that way.
Days Gone sold, I think, 7 million copies. So
I think Until Dawn might have sold more. I might be wrong, but well, I mean, people are hating on Days Gone just from the fact that it's a remaster, so it's getting plenty of hate.
Yeah. Days Gone has sold, according to Wikipedia, 7.32 million. So let's look for Until Dawn here.
Probably more. I've assumed so. I mean, unless they're really, well, maybe, I don't know. But either way, I think
4 million for your Until Dawn. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know why they're not. I don't know why they're doing. They gave one the physical and this one not. I don't know.
I was kind of curious, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. I was looking even to pick up a physical, the PS4 version, but it's like I looked online and it's like $30 everywhere. So it's like don't want to pay $30 for it, especially if I could upgrade it for 10. We'll kind of wait and see. I know they've released enough patches for Days Gone to where it actually runs at 60 frames a second on PS5. So I mean. Where push comes to shove, who knows? Maybe I'll just play the old version, just say hell with it. But we'll see.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they're trying to give it some new life, and good for them. I don't think it's needed, but
I know. But I think it fills the catalog for sure. So, was there anything else, you guys? I know Warriors Abyss kind of caught my eye too, but. Given the fact that I haven't played Dynasty Warriors Origins yet, and I bought that, it's like don't know about that. So
Origins is really good. I put it on the shelf because I got drawn into Wolong, but as soon as I'm done with Wolong, I'm going to be picking Origins back up again. It's very good. It's very good.
Even though they let off with the Monster Hunter trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds, it's just the point that they use the old Monster Hunter 1 music just got me in the feels. So,
I'm sure it did, sir.
All right. So that was the state of play. Let us know if you guys had any other games that we didn't talk about, as far as if there's something that caught your eye. Let us know in the Discord for sure. So
yeah, or in the comment section of the YouTubes.
You got it. So, and we're going to move on. Phil Spencer visited the podcast Xbox era on here. They just celebrated their 250th episode. So they pre-recorded an interview with Phil Spencer. It was recorded a few weeks ago. I think they waited to have it on this week's episode. And so this is about the same time he made appearances on both Dustin's YouTube channel, the guy from IGN, and also on what was the other place he made an appearance on? Kev, forgot.
No.
He was on Gamertag Radio.
Yeah, okay, with Paris and
Danny Pena.
Yeah. So yeah, they were asking him a little bit too about just the state of Xbox right now, and so they asked him about as far as the whole bringing games on PlayStation, so on and so forth. And he acknowledged in the interview that he is, quote unquote, the Xbox is not trying to move PS5 and PC players all over the Xbox anymore. Acknowledging that players are also invested in where the games are, that all he wants to do now is allow more people to play Xbox games on other systems. So, talking to the host of the podcast, they acknowledge while selling games on competitor devices means Xbox only recoups 70% of the sale, with 30% going to the competitor's storefront. That 70% helps Xbox, quote unquote, build great portfolios. So these are people, whether they're libraries on PlayStation or Nintendo, whether that they like the controller better, whether they just like the games that are there. And I don't want for them to look at it and say, well, there's no way that we should be able to build a business there or find fans of our franchises there. So I'm not trying to move them all over the Xbox anymore. We're also invested where our games are. Let's just allow more people to play. And yes, that 70% we make on games on other platforms is helpful to us being able to build better portfolios, just like we showed at the Developer Direct. And I hope this will continue to show through the rest of the year. So, hey, if you want Avowed, Des, guess what? You're going to get it at some point. So, if for people out there for whatever reason are waiting for Starfield on PS5, you'll be able to get Starfield on PS5 if that's the case. So, there's been other subsequent games, like I believe there's like a couple of Age of Empires games that got announced for PS5 as well. So it's, but I think this will all be like, the final nail in the coffin, quote unquote, is when we see like either Halo or Gears on PlayStation or on Nintendo platforms. So,
it's coming.
Yep.
But we'll have to see. Doesn't mean that Xbox is giving up on their hardware endeavors. So, and Phil Spencer made a statement saying that obviously we make more on our own platform. It's one of the reasons that investing in our own platform is important. On here, they asked him if Starfield will continue to have an exclusivity window on Xbox systems.
Nope.
He answered with a simple no. He didn't say anything else other than no on the interview. So kind of that's the state of Xbox at the moment, And also on Windows Central, Jez Corden, one of our top choice Microsoft commenters on here, commented the fact that, and this was on a few places, I think Ryan McCaffrey from IGN also commented on this. It said that Microsoft might legit publish more games on PS5 this year than Sony does. So that they're making that a point, meaning that, it's kind of crazy to see that Microsoft's coming over here and starting to publish like everything under the sun on the PlayStation storefront. But hey, guess what? You got like libraries of games from your back catalog that you're finally releasing on PlayStation. Obviously, you might have more games to release than PlayStation themselves. So same thing if PlayStation brought all their titles out on Xbox, which would never happened, but yeah, so
No,
we'll take a
I
look.
think it's
But
funny that you're laughing because for me, this is a win-win for PlayStation owners. Like,
yeah,
sign
for
me up.
sure.
Hell yeah! Like, wait. I get to play all your games on my preferred system. Sign me up. Let's do
Yeah,
this, and that's
I
what
know
makes it even sadder.
back in the day, I mean, you had to go out and buy if you were a diehard game fan. You had, oh, I got to buy the new Xbox because there's new games on this platform. I'm not going to
Yeah.
be able to get anywhere else. And same thing for PlayStation. I had to buy a PlayStation because, hey, I want to play game X, Y, and Z if that's the case. And of course, hey, there's a new Nintendo system, so I want to play Mario and Zelda and whatever else that comes my way. And now it's just the point that because these games cost so much to make, that they're going to have to spread that goodness on that bread, on every piece of bread,
No,
every cover
no,
every corner.
no,
So
no. I have to stop you on that. It's not because these games cost so much to make. It's because Phil and Xbox and them whined and cried to the people to say, like, we need to purchase all these other companies. They spent all that money on those other companies. This is about recouping that money, folks. Let's be honest, okay? Xbox said we need to acquire these studios that way we can have people make games for us. And it panned. It panned. It didn't pan out. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
$80 billion.
Thank you. They need to recoup that now. Okay, so they if anything, folks should be suing them for mismanaging their money. That's what they need to be doing, and being like, what's going on with all this that you just spent all this? No, it's not because the stuff cost too much to make. It's because they didn't do it. They didn't make good on what they were gonna do. That's the real. If you ask me, 100%.
That's a big part of it. That's a big part of it. And also putting your games everywhere does not guarantee that you're going to make more money.
Yep.
I can't remember what game it was. It was either, I think it's either God of War Ragnarok, or it might have been another game, but that game is being pirated more than it's sold on Steam. More people were playing that game on illegitimate copies than they were playing the legitimate. I think the legitimate, at the last count that I saw, barely cracked 100K. And that's God of War Ragnarok, if I'm getting my information correctly at the time that it came out on PC. So, I mean, there was also drama attached to that, having a PSN, and PC gamers are weird like that. They'll sign into everything else to play a game, but God forbid you have to sign into a free service, and all of a sudden,
they walk that back. It's something that Sony needed to do because there's some countries that don't have PSN that basically made that game ineligible for them to be able to purchase because of the fact that they can't have a PSN account. But
I mean, that's fine, but all the people that I heard bitching and moaning were all people that had access. They just didn't want to create an account. But whatever. Just because your game is everywhere does not guarantee you're going to make any extra money. So PlayStation's finding that out. Nintendo has yet to find that out, because the only place you can play their games is on their hardware, which I think is really the way it should be. Phil Spencer's comments don't even make sense in the face of putting content on PC, because most of the people that buy their games buy them off Steam. They don't use Microsoft's, the Xbox app on PC. They get it through Steam, so that means that Steam gets that 30% cut, and instead of competing in the storefront, you make Windows, for crying out loud. Why aren't you competing on the storefront for PC? Then you can truly say yes, the Xbox platform now legitimately consists of not when I say legitimate is probably the wrong word because it does since it's on Steam, but our infrastructure completely encompasses PC and console. They don't even do that.
Yeah, the Microsoft Store, the front end and the games you buy on Microsoft Store, people have been complaining about Xbox Game Pass on PC for years because of the fact that the games that are on that particular platform are behind in features versus the games on Steam and other storefronts like on Epic. And it has to do with the way that the wrapper is as far as on the Windows Store app, as far as the EXE, that basically prevents them from putting things, they're always a step behind on the Windows Store versions. Like, some versions didn't have DLSS on certain games that dropped on Game Pass where you had a full feature set on Steam, on the Steam version. So it's just like, I want Microsoft to get their storefronts correct. I mean, the time that Des tried PC Game Pass, I mean,
it was terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I read a thread on Resetera basically that said that there's certain games once you download it off Game Pass on PC that if you try to delete it, it still leaves the entire block of data on your hard drive, and you have to reinstall Windows to get rid of it. So.
No, you do. Like, he's not lying. That's one of the reasons why I was super happy that when you went through and destroyed my computer. Like, I was like, at least I get a fresh computer out of it. Thank you, Joe.
This is $1 trillion software company. Maybe it might be worth a little more than $1 trillion. Why is this an issue?
Why is it so hard?
Why can't y'all get your own get your store together on your own operating system that every PC gamer is using? It does not make sense to me. And this whole thing about, well, we're not trying to bring gamers over to the Xbox anymore. Well, that is the same formula that has worked for consoles since time immemorial. Ever since you were able to plug in individual games into a box that's set either on top, in front, or underneath your television in the living room, that has been the formula that has been executed. And why is it that Sony's been able to do it? Why is it that Nintendo's been able to do it? It is because they put out quality content that made you to have to get the hardware. And when he's saying that, well, basically he's saying, oh, why even bother with next gen Xbox? And that's the thing that is just so puzzling to me. It's like, okay, if I can play all your games where I'm at, and let's be honest, on the console space, the best version to play those games is going to be the PS5 Pro. Yeah. It's not going to be the Series X. I don't understand it. I do not understand it. It's very weird. It seems to me that you would save a whole lot more money if you just said, okay, this is it. The series consoles was a wrap. We're still going to support them. We're still going to honor the warranties. We're still going to do all that stuff. You got all that wonderful stuff. But we are a publisher now. I don't get it. Now, and what about what are you going to do for the diehards that are going to continue on the Xbox console? Are you going to make sure that all of that content, where actually, a good question is, where do they go?
What I'm thinking they're going to do is they're going to release a PC set-top box, and remember when we had that news story that they had the back compat team back in play, that they reformed the powers that be. Oh, yeah, the back compat team is not working on making more games compatible on Xbox. That back compat team is working on making Xbox software compatible on PC. I think is going to be the rub on this.
Okay.
So that's
All right,
where I'm
Phil,
thinking things are
if
going
you're
to go.
listening,
But
Phil, if you're listening, let us know if we're on the right track.
yeah, according
That's wild.
to Jez Corden, though, he commented that he's recently been told that Xbox next-gen console hardware has now moved past its early pitch stages and has been fully approved and costed all the way up the chain on there. So I guess they've gotten full approval for the next Xbox from there. And it sounds like to me, I thought the Series X in itself by itself was a
The
good
Series X is a perfectly fine console if it would have been the only one.
Yeah.
If it would have been, if it wasn't saddled by the Series S, the Series X is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Some games run better on the Series X than a base PS5. Some games run better on a base PS5 as opposed to the Series X. But if they would have just had that one platform to deal with on the console side, I do not think they would be in the positions that they find themselves in, particularly with third-party games like Baldur's Gate. Phil throwing Baldur's Gate developers under the bus. Well, they can't get the what was it, the couch co-op to work.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the Series X, and the developer said, "Look, you want this game on your system or not?" Yeah, the problem is the Series S.
Yeah, exactly what happened.
Yeah, they wound up having to go backtrack and get that game released, even though that they were working hard to get the couch co-op, the split screen version of the game working on the Series S. Same thing, we haven't even seen Black Myth Wukong on Xbox.
Black Myth is still not on Xbox.
Yeah.
And it's the Series X that is the problem. So, I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I just love all the pot shots from all these Xbox-centric media faces like Ryan McCaffrey. There was a poll from Destin Legary's Twitter account, and they asked their listeners how they felt about the state of play that just happened. 44% gave it a D or lower for whatever reason. Maybe because they're hating. I have no idea, so.
That's something else that I'm going to rant real quick about. I think there's gamers, and then there's the gaming community. The gaming community can choke on a decayed donkey dick with maggots and decayed flesh and shove it so far down their throat that Roman Reigns could give them the Heimlich maneuver and it wouldn't work. They still couldn't get it out. I am so sick of these people because they're never happy. It's like, did you see games that you like? Well, this could have been done through Twitter. This could have been done through this. I didn't like the pacing. I didn't like this. I didn't like that. Then on the opposite end with the Xbox Developer Direct, did you not see games that appeal to you? Oh, this is trash. Oh, this is it. What is it? First party? It's not first party. Is this? Y'all make me sick. You make me sick. It's like nobody is happy, and I think a lot of these folks really need to should take a time out from gaming and just do another hobby for a while, because I saw a post. It was just a simple post that someone put up. I want to say it was Jay Barry, and he said, "Hey, I saw a whole bunch of stuff that I liked on this state of play." And that man was bombarded. He didn't put shots on Xbox. He didn't put shots on PC. He didn't put shots on Nintendo. All he said was he saw a lot of games that he's going to be buying. And the level of vitriol, I mean, and I'm not just saying like console warrior stuff. like personal attacks. It's like, what the hell are you people doing? What are you doing with your time? Find another hobby, because like I think there's gamers in the gaming community. The gaming community metaphorically needs to die in a fire, because they're not happy just being miserable on their own. They want to make everybody else miserable who is still enjoying the hobby. And that's the thing that burns my butt on that.
I think that'll cap it. Yeah. So we'll have to see what's coming up with Xbox, but just kind of wanted to talk about Phil's interview and the whole prospect as far as Jez talking about the next hardware platform. I mean, all three of us, I think if it's a good launch and a good piece of hardware, I think are any of us willing to give Xbox another shot?
Oh yeah. I'll never say I'd never give Xbox a shot. I'm just saying they just need to decide what they're going to be doing and who they are. Because right now, I don't think they know who they are or what they want to do. I think they just need to decide, like, hey, do you make games? Do you make consoles? Do you just pick a lane. Pick a lane.
Pick
I'm not
going to
say, I'm not going to say never, but if it doesn't have physical media, for sure I'm not.
Oh,
because I will just if it's
Sorry,
if it's not gonna run disc, then I'll just I'll just wait for Steam's set top box if I decide to go that route. But so it's got to play physical media. If it's not, then I'm more inclined to bypass it. I just don't know what is that Xbox going to do now that you're bringing all of your games over to PlayStation, both now and for the foreseeable future. So that includes the PlayStation 6. What is that Xbox going to do that my PlayStation will not? That's the issue. That's the issue. Is your performance level going to be that much higher than the PS5 Pro or the PlayStation 6? I doubt it. Is your party chat going to be that much more phenomenal than what I'm getting, when PlayStation's not having an outage? I doubt it. I just don't know what a next generation Xbox is going to offer me now that all of their content is going everywhere. That's so I'm not going to say never. I'm just going to say I just don't see the answer to that equation yet.
All right, good deal. And speaking of Xbox, I'm going to go into our release dates and announcements section of the news. Hellblade 2 reportedly is coming to PlayStation 5. And according to the same Jez Corden we've been talking about with the article that he commented about the hardware just a minute ago, he mentioned that Microsoft's plans for Ninja Theory's game is going to be come out pretty soon. He's guesstimating that it'll be out as soon as April or sometime in that particular window on there. So, and we'll have to see. But basically, this it's not even a point of if, it's just a point of when that Hellblade 2 is going to make its way over on there. So we'll have to see once they get that port and everything's ready to go as far as getting Hellblade 2 on PlayStation 5 on there. Maybe wait for a PlayStation blog post on there to announce it if need be on here. Also, the game from Level 5, Fantasy Life, finally got a release date. So Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, is going to be launching on May 21st for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Switch, and PC. This game originally was announced physically to come out for the Nintendo Switch in the United States and in the West, basically. But Level 5 decided to go ahead and release the game on multiple platforms, including PlayStation 5 and Xbox on there. So because of that reason, the physical version for the West has been canceled on here. It is still being released digitally on May 21st. There is a Japanese version of the game for both Switch and for PlayStation. Probably might be able to see it.
The PlayStation 1, from what I understand, was canceled.
Oh, not PlayStation. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, it was the PS5 version.
Yeah, PS5 version is going to be available physically in Japan.
Okay, sorry. That's the US. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, so but if you haven't
I was very
played
sad about it.
well, I'm going to import it for PlayStation.
Oh, yeah,
are you going to import it for Switch, or what are you going to do?
I'm probably going to import it for Switch because I played it on Nintendo the last time.
Yeah, it's always been a Switch game. I mean, it was on the Nintendo. What was the 3DS or was it on the 3DS previously? So this is like kind of a Animal Crossing like RPG where you got to choose different jobs and be able to go in and kind of do a lot of the jobs on the island and whatnot. So, so I think there's a lot of cute gameplay with this bad boy. It's just, I might have to buy it on Switch just so I could play multiplayer with you, but it looks like the game does support crossplay and cross save. So it's kind of cool.
Oh, that's fun.
Aspect. Hell, I might even buy it just to play on my Steam Deck, but we'll see. So, also too, there was an Evo event over the weekend. The Evo Awards 2025 happened, and they did have some announcements on that. Now, one of the announcements that kind of covers our interest as far as different games that were covered. Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves. They announced the Season Pass 1 DLC characters for Fatal Fury. So summer 2025 will bring you Andy Bogart. Summer 2025 will also bring you Street Fighter Ken, is what it's labeled on here. So it's not just Ken, it's Street Fighter Ken. So fall 2025 is Joe Higashi. Winter is going to be Chun-Li, Street Fighter Chun-Li. And then early 2026 is Mr. Big on there. So gotta remember Mr. Big from Art of Fighting. So
Yikes. So,
Pimp Daddy.
Yeah.
Pimp Daddy. Yep. He has a shaved head and a white beard now. So
Mm-hmm.
He's got a little updated there.
He updated his look.
Big old bear daddy.
Silly.
I know, but I think these are the characters I was kind of expecting to be in the new Fatal Fury, but they weren't. But obviously they weren't in Garou anyway, so it's like I'm kind of glad that both Andy and Joe were making their way over into the game on there. I kind of wish they were included. They're kind of mainstays in my opinion because the original Fatal Fury had Terry, Andy, and Joe. So it's like
Are you sad?
I'm grateful that they're coming back. So so if I do get into this game, I'm definitely probably invest in the season pass just so I could just play some Andy and Joe as well. So
it's funny.
What's your overall take on this, Kev?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting the season passes for this game. Because again, this is gonna be the game that brings me back to fighting games. I don't know if I'm ready for Joe to have glasses though.
He's older though, he might need a.
Yeah,
he's got cataracts.
I don't know if I'm ready for Joe with glasses because I guess Preacher is his student, and who fights a similar style as his. She has glasses, so I don't. Yep. I'm not. There's nothing wrong with the design. I think Joe looks great, but I don't know if I'm ready to see him with glasses.
He's an older guy, He
has his full set of hair though. So.
He's got his hair.
Does Andy have his hair? Because he had that long blonde hair pulled back, or is he balding now?
No, he has his full set of hair. Yeah, it's definitely cut. So.
Yikes. I know Maya's all mad about it. She's like,
Mr. Big's looking all like,
crazy. I can see. Now I have to go and look. Because the only ones that I saw were Andy. I saw Andy. What else did I see? I saw Andy and I saw someone else. I can't remember, but I know it's Andy that I saw. And I was not Andy. It was what's his name? God damn, I can't remember it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go look at them later. So
Yeah, if you do want to partake in those Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, open beta starts this Thursday on February 20th. It's going to last until February 24th on Monday, so you have all this upcoming weekend to be able to play. There is 8 playable characters in the open beta. It's going to be Rock Howard, Terry Bogart, Hotaru, B. Janet, Mai, Preacha, Vox Reaper, and Kane. Looks like on there. So
which ones did we play?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Go back and look, but
try to remember.
But if you're down to get online and get a little like scrub sport up in this gaming vessels online gameplay, I'm ready to check this game out at least a little bit. So
I'm curious to see how that rev system works, because I've watched like some high end gameplay of this game, and I'm not able to really follow what's going on. I mean, I can follow what's going on, but I'm just trying to figure out because I know it has the break system in it, like Garou did, where you can break certain moves, cut the animation, so you can extend combos. But I'm trying to figure out how rev worked, because I thought it was like an EX type thing, but it's deeper than that. So I definitely want to get into the game and kind of figure out how that whole rev thing works.
Good deal.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to rev up.
5 days, so we'll check it out starting on the 20th. So
get the rev up, sir.
And speaking of revving up, that is the Jabroni gaming news for this episode.
All right, so game night takes place every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. That is the day and time that we set aside to play games with our growing Discord community. So if you have a game that you'd like to play, please post it in our Discord, and we will be more than happy to join you on a Monday evening game night session. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, how do I join the Discord? That's easy enough. All you do is head over to the app formerly known as Twitter, currently known as X. Or Blue Sky, and hit up at Gaming Vessels, GAMINGVESSELS. You click the link in the bio and you're in. We have no merch to hawk to you, and we have no Patreon tier list for you to pay for. All we just ask is you just be a good person, likes talking about games, and I think you will find a happy home aboard the good ship Gaming Vessel. Special shout out goes to Crucial Chase for his question for the host of the show. Really, I know for me, really brought back some cool memories of days long gone by in my case, but wonderful to have like a little geek out a little retro wants and desires that I had as a little wee lad. So special shout out to you, Crucial Chase, for that question. So that's going to bring episode 272 to a close. We want to thank you for hanging out, cooling out, chilling out, without a doubt, with us this episode. So for Dez, aka the Bay Area Terror, aka the High Res Hater,
that's me,
aka the Cat Daddy, aka that Gamer Stepdaddy, and for Trader Joe, aka Jabroni Chief.
Yeah.
But you might also know him as the Food Max of Gaming, who can maximize your gaming dollar. I'm Shonuff71, a.k.a. Digadulamite.
That purple bling bling, y'all.
And we'll be back next week, episode 273, for your ears. Peace!
And hair grease.